The GenPop podcast. In this show, St. Laz will bring you the unfiltered truth of what really goes on inside of correctional facilities, and he holds nothing back. Sometimes hilarious, sometimes disturbing, and always memorable. Laz will tell you just how barbaric, unnecessary, and damaging mass incarceration is, from the inmates, their families, all the way to the over-policed communities the cycles begin in. You can watch all these stories on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to St. Laz on YouTube at st.laz on YouTube.
How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the GenPop Recap Podcast. It's Mark Ward. We're here with St. Laz. How you doing today, brother?
What's good, my broski? Chilling like a villain.
I'm gonna start off with just a couple of questions because people have been asking me a couple of questions. So one thing that I've had a few people ask me while you're recording these, does anyone ever recognize you or realize what you're doing?
What you mean, like in the streets?
Yeah, like while you're making the episodes.
Not while I'm recording them. Yeah, not while I'm recording them, but I got a whole bunch of people running up on me all day in the streets over these joints. You heard? But
is that all right for you? Do you ever find it disconcerting?
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to it a little bit because I had a couple of videos on TV and shit like that. So dudes used to be running up on me. Like if I go someplace that's highly populated, like Midtown, 42nd, 34th Street or something, somebody would probably run up on me. Yo, St. Laz, what up, man? I fuck with your shit. You feel me? So I was a little bit used to it, but with the jail shit, it's starting to become a little bit more often that happens.
Do they ever be on like it must be hard to tell at first because I'm sure some cats ran up and been like, "Hey, yo, son, was you it?" And then say where they was at, and you don't know if they might got an issue off something they heard in one of your Jones, huh?
Nah, that ain't shit like that ain't go down yet. You understand what I'm saying? Like somebody coming up to me hostile, asking me a question about some jail shit. I'm
not. But I'm saying like, has anyone ever presented themselves at first that you had to take a step back and observe their demeanor before they realize it? Because I can see somebody getting excited, you know what I'm saying? Because them shits be so funny and shit. Like, I've never seen you before. I be like, I'm gonna be like, that shit funny as shit, even though it's not though. You know what I'm saying?
The kid ran up on me in the street the other day. He probably was like 17 years old, 18 maybe. Like, yo, I'll be watching your shit, Laz. Yo, what I mean? Can I get a picture with you? I'm like, bet, let's get it in. You feel what I'm saying? But the nigga was mad young, and I said to myself, I'm like, damn, I got dudes this young tuning in. I gotta be careful what I speak about. You feel me?
I mean, in some ways that gotta be good though, because like you would hope that somebody with reasonable intelligence would hear that shit and not want to be there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But I still ain't know dudes was that young. They was in the streets that young watching this shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? Son was a real young dude.
Then the episode where you had to go to Lake Placid and it was when you get kicked out of Gabriel, right?
Facts.
A couple people asked me what would have happened if you sliced the guard, and I said he probably would have caught a new charge and more time, but I couldn't be more specific than that. Like one person ventured that they would have took you somewhere and killed you in the prison that day. I was like, nah, it ain't like that. They
might have not did that. They might have would have beat the shit out of me crazily. Yeah. And then they would have sent me to Clinton, and then they would have beat the shit out of me in Clinton in the box. You feel what I'm saying? But then after that, they would have sent me to the Southport box for about 3 or 4 years, probably like 3 or 4 years for cutting the police in the box. You feel what I'm saying? So you just be in the box for 3 or 4 years, and then you'll get a new charge. If you got a whole bunch of time, they'll run it concurrent. But if you got like a 2 to 4 or something, or 5 years, they'll give you an extra 2, 3 years on your sentence, and you do about 4 years in the box, and then you'll come back out to regular population. But you'll never go back to a medium again. You'll just be in the box. I mean, you'll just be in the max forever.
And then another question I got about that work detail, they was like, why you bring box cutters? And I figured you probably needed to cut like spindle or something.
We was bringing box cutters because the jail was just loose. And we just wanted to feel like we had a weapon on us at all times, even if we didn't need it at all.
So on work detail, when you needed saws and shit, you never actually needed box cutters for the job?
Nah, man, we just had them shits on us. If we get caught with them shits, you going to jail. If you get caught with them shits, you getting locked up. You feel me? We had stolen box cutters from the streets. But like I said, we had our regular clothes on with a snow jumper over it. So it was mad. They didn't search us like that. You feel what I'm saying? So everybody had a box cutter or a razor or a rug cutter on them. You feel what I'm saying? Just to have one. Real talk.
What's the difference between an ox and a hammer?
A hammer could be anything, but an ox just really means just most of the time just means a Gemstar razor blade, like the kind you buy in the box where it's like 5 of them in the box and shit. That's an ox.
So like the birdie above the rim shit though.
Yeah, that's an ox. You heard what I mean? But a rug cutter, you know, that's the shit from outside of the orange box cutters that click up. They take that out, and it's a thicker, like a real good one. Those are cheap ones. The 99-cent store be having it, dollar store and Walmart, the cheap ones. But they got the real metal shits with the blade in it is thick as hell that you could barely even break those blades. But dudes used to take the blades out of the metal rug cutters. That's a real rug cutter, not the plastic shits. And then they would break those blades, like the blade be like this long, like maybe like 4 inches. They'll break that shit down into three different rug cutters. Some dudes be like, fuck that. I'm only making 2 out of it. So they'll make 2 and they just have a big long rug cutter that you can hold and it won't fall out your hand. You can hold it. So dudes be cutting dudes. But now, that was back in the days. Now, dudes is playing with straight scalpels. You heard? Dudes playing with straight scalpels. And a dude told me the other day, now they got fiberglass scalpels, plastic shits that don't go off in the metal detectors, and them shits cut just like the metal scalpels. Damn. So niggas is dangerous up north now. Niggas got them straight plastic scalpels. Them shits is ugly.
And then, you know, I ain't have no answer for this one. What's the deal with cutting people's faces? Is it just awesome straight disrespect? You're so much of a bitch, I know you ain't gonna come back and kill me. And then me personally, I'm curious if you know of a story of somebody who got their face cut that somebody thought was gonna just take that shit, who came back and got wild about it.
Shit, I'm gonna probably record a story tonight. You heard? That's about my man, the one that's telling the stories about Rikers Island. One of my in Brooklyn in the Empire skating rink. He got cut on Rikers Island 3 times. You heard? So he's gonna tell the story on how he got cut 3 times and how the retaliation went about. So that's gonna be crazy. But as far as dudes getting cut on Rikers Island, that was a regular occurrence. And dudes coming back for revenge, that was a regular occurrence. But it started from a disrespect. It used to be way back in the days when you cut somebody on the face, it used to be a mark of a snitch. You heard? So dudes started doing that shit just to be disrespectful to a next man. Like, I'm gonna label you a snitch, nigga. Nobody's gonna fuck with you. So then nigga like, oh word, you cut my face and label me a snitch? Now I'm gonna cut your face and label you a snitch, even though a nigga may have not been a snitch. You heard? It was just a disrespect thing.
And did it ever work that like if you did it to somebody who was at first, if you did it to somebody who wasn't a snitch, cats would automatically think they was a snitch and get at him? Like did put it never put them in danger?
Yeah, by the time it evolved, after like in the 80s, by the time it evolved, it was just a disrespectful thing. People know that anybody could have a cut on their face now because it was just disrespectful. And the real reason why dudes was doing it is like, let's say you have an enemy that come in the same dorm or the same block. You want to get him out the jail. You want to get him out that spot because if you don't get him out of there, he might do something to you. So what dudes used to do is cut dudes in the face so that the police could see. They can't hide it.
But then they ain't catching no body and shit.
Yeah, they don't want to kill you. You heard? But they want to put a cut on your face so that the police could say, oh, this nigga got cut. They pack that nigga up and get him out the dorm to take him to another dorm. So now you could sleep at night. You heard? So it was better than stabbing somebody up because when you stab somebody up, they could bandage it up, and stay in the dorm and hide it from the police. But they can't hide getting cut in the face from police. So dudes used to try to cut a dude across his face to get a nigga out of there. You heard? So that he leaves the jail. So that's what it really was about. It was about getting your enemy out the dorm. And the only way you could really do that without killing him is make sure the police see a bleeding cut on his face.
Gotcha. Shit.
So
everything is jail and pragmatic. Me personally, I got 2 requests for topics I hope you touch on one day. Outside of the weaponry, I've always been fascinated at the ingenuity of prisoners. I love if you could touch on the things you see people made. And then, you know, not that, well, man, I don't like to start talking shit, but, you know, there's been some people that started imitating your shit, and they're doing a poor job. They're sensationalizing this shit. So I was hoping you could do a jump talking about how, like, the majority of people in there probably shouldn't be in prison. Or touch on it at any point. Because, man, it's a lot of fraudulent, man, bro. Some of these people on YouTube got these jumps making that shit sound like it's summer camp and it's fun, to the point that I question if they ever even went to jail to begin with, you know what I mean? Or at least prison.
You know, some dudes was in jails and prisons at a different time. You understand what I'm saying? Where certain things, like even on my stories, you got some dudes leaving comments like, yo, I was in that jail and it wasn't none of that shit happening, but you know, y'all, we was in the jail at a different time, my nigga. You heard you was in jail when different things was going on.
How about the ingenuity shit?
As far as weapons is concerned,
not weapons, like other shit. Like I see people make tattoo guns, mad ways to cook food and shit.
I got my first tattoo in jail with a guitar string and magazine ink, where they take the ink off they soak the motherfucking pages of the magazine. They don't even soak the pages of the magazine. They do some shit where they scrape the ink off, like if it's a picture, like say if it's a picture of a red basket, a red ball, they scrape all of the red off of the picture of the magazine and they add it with some other shit and they turn it into red ink.
Damn.
You heard? And that's the type of
this jump. These Jones right here, is ash mixed with shampoo, like cigarette ash mixed with shampoo. I need to get them touched up one day. These shits is like over 20 years old though.
Yeah, my shit is dumbo and it held up pretty decently. It looks like a jail tag, but I'm kind of.
So that was my shit.
Hold up.
Was you know, those SAquan episodes have been, as far as the audio podcast, because I mean shit, all the videos is popular. Those SAquan episodes has been real popular. Was he hesitant to do that shit?
Yeah, I mean, you know, dudes.
Because I know you ain't talking people into it. I already know how you go. It's not like I know you ain't selling them on it.
These dudes are street dudes, so they're new to this whole internet shit. So a lot of them be reluctant. You feel what I'm saying? But you know, we already on the same page, man. We telling the history of this of Brooklyn. I literally, while I'm talking to you, I exported an episode that I just did with him. I uploaded it, but I didn't put it public yet. You understand? Because I'm waiting for him to watch it. Because dudes be scared that they're gonna say too much or stuff like that. So I'll let dudes watch it first and then see how they feel about it. But I don't really like to do that because then, you know, a dude could be like, nah, I don't like it, this and that, this and that. You gotta just let that shit go, bro. You gotta let that shit go. You understand what I'm saying? So shit rough. So I'm waiting for this dude to hit me back now and tell me that he see it.
You know, earlier you was talking about comments and shit, and I can't remember because you know I watch all your shit because I don't know if people know, like I approached Laz as a fan before I was even into blogging. Laz helped me when I started blogging. Laz helped me with my Dripped Up series. I've helped Laz, and we've had a mutually beneficial relationship for a while now, and I genuinely enjoy your material. You know, a lot of people, they act like the people they fuck with make nothing but good shit, and nah, you know, I only fuck with people that make good shit. So anyway, point being, I be watching The Fat Vegetarian. I watch all the Jones, you know, the Brooklyn stories. So I can't remember which one it was, but I saw somebody called you the most New Yorker ever on one of your Jones.
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, that had to be a good feeling, because I went and looked at that person. That person wasn't no like weirdo rando. They was a well regarded person. You know, they had videos that like mad views and likes and shit.
Word out. I didn't get to check who said that. I gotta check. But like, yeah, I'll be everywhere in New York, bro. I'm gonna keep it real.
I know, but the most New Yorker ever, Bongo.
That's definitely a big statement. Definitely.
Man, if you ever do get back into music, like get your heart. I know you ain't never gonna get out of it. I know you'll keep making songs, but if you ever do make a greatest hits Joan or a new album, most New Yorker ever, be a good name. But that'd be a good name for anything, really.
Crazy that you mentioned that. I just recorded a new joint that's Flames. I'm about to put out. I keep forgetting I gotta send this DJ his final mix. I'm glad you mentioned that shit. I would have forgot to send it to him.
You know, while we talking about though, real quick, y'all look it up on Dirty Glove Bastard. He got a new song with, by new I mean the last year too. Lil Flip, Crunchy. These are all different songs. Lil Flip, Crunchy Black, J.R. Ryder, Gunna, Roddy Rich. I'm forgetting some Southern Bama. And then out of the blue, he sent me a song. You sent me a song you did with Triple C's the other day.
Oh yeah,
I never even know you made that jump.
I think I got a couple of songs with Son. I heard some other shit the other day that I never heard before that me and him did. Me, him, and my bro Mike the Martyr. He a rapper and a producer. My bro Mike the Martyr, he's sick with it on the beats crazily. You know what I mean? But me, him, and Mike the Martyr, Triple C's. He used to mess with Mike the Martyr, like that was his producer. So, you know what I mean? But me and Son got like two flamers together. That's nuts.
Yeah, man. Terror Squad was underrated. If it got to develop, I don't know nothing about none of the financial situation, but you know, if it stayed with Big Pun and Cuban Link, he had his chance to be the new Scarface and shit. And you know, I thought Tony Sunshine could sing with Remy. They would have been a little force, you know. That's like one of them Len Bias what ifs, you feel me?
You know, they made history like in the Bronx, them niggas is historic. Like in New York,
I agree.
In the Bronx, them niggas is like
in the game, first Latino platinum rapper, shit, in the game.
You know, even that nigga, one of my favorite dudes from Terror Squad was dude Prospect. Prospect is fire.
You know, we got on this one, we gotta keep it in the penitentiary. I mean, we don't have to, but you know, tell me if this is true or not, because you know, down south you'll have motherfuckers come and say they've been in Rikers and they've been in New York pens, but they really been in Connecticut Jones trying to like make themselves look bigger than they are. But I heard people say that Terror Squad dudes or people that was affiliated with them had a lot of respect in prison. You know, I know we can't get into names, but there was one prominent individual who came home from prison that was affiliated with them that I used to hear wild stories about when I was locked up. Because you know, every DC cat do Fed time, so they run into people like that. Because you know, they put all the bad people out Colorado and shit.
Yeah, you know, Fat Joe roots is in the Bronx, man. So you know, it's a lot of Bronx thugs and gangsters that come from some neighborhood and stuff like that. You know, and the dudes is in the penitentiary doing a thing.
Yeah, they got legitimate respect, you know, from all sides. You know, it damn sure ain't no I don't know if y'all call it this, but it damn sure ain't no guerrilla pimping. But the broke ass mob, do you know what became of them?
Yo, I don't know what happened to none of my bros, man. That's some weird shit because I never ran into my bro Point. That was from Flatbush. And, you know, these dudes was older than me too, man. So it's like, you know, I'm hoping dudes are still out here, man. Dudes are still alive and well, but I never ran into my bro Point, my bro T. I left so abruptly, you heard? Wasn't able to get information and, you know what I mean? Shit like that. So shit was crazy, bro. But I guarantee you one of these stories is gonna smoke them out. So a lot of these stories, I'm doing that shit to smoke dudes out. I want to find dudes.
Me too. I want to. That's the next thing I want to touch on. That's so coincidental. You know, it's bad to dox people, but I want to find out my man that got the baby in the noose, the black baby in the noose tattooed on his arm. If anybody knows who he is, please contact us.
Yeah, the funny shit is people keep saying it on the comments like, yo, I know that police. Bro, it was 1,000 police with that tattoo. You heard?
Man, let's ID them all.
Nah, but that's a Klux Klan tattoo. That's a famous tattoo. All you gotta do is Google it. It's gonna come right up.
Oh, I know. I know about it, bro. I mean, not like I know about it, like my family have it. The thing that geeks me, it don't geek me out that a bunch of correction guards have it. It geeks me out that they displayed it in front of y'all like that.
You know, this was the 90s though.
That's how it still geeks me out. Like, man, that just shows what a different world prison is.
Yeah, they probably couldn't get away with no shit like that nowadays. You heard? They probably couldn't get away with no shit like that nowadays. But back in them days, it was a little bit, you in the mountains, bro. That, like, you know what I mean? You in the mountains, bro. You know what I mean? It's your word against their word. So nobody's trying to hear what you got to say. You feel me? But
did the cat who respected you for not giving up your lessons, did he have one of them tattoos?
Definitely. But let me tell you this. Some of them dudes be the realest police though. That's how crazy it is. Like some of the most racist police, they're the ones that don't fuck with you.
I mean, a lot of times, racist people be the most authentic. It might not be in a good way, but it's still authentic.
They like, listen, we was 5%. We had our beliefs and shit like that. A lot of them dudes, they was racist motherfuckers, Ku Klux Klan motherfuckers and all of that. But if you carry yourself with a certain level of respect, they're going to respect you. But
authentic people respect the enemy.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? They was like, niggas put me on to that. They was like, yo, listen, let me tell you something, son. Some of the worst police in this jail, they the niggas who gonna let you do what you want to do as long as you don't step out of bounds and disrespect them. You feel me? Because they real motherfuckers. They may be racist devil type of motherfuckers, but they real. You heard? They real niggas. So if they catch you, like I told you, the police that caught me with the lessons, I'm about to tell that story. I'm almost up to that. The police who caught me with the lessons, that nigga ain't write me up. Nigga's a mad racist Ku Klux Klan nigga. He did not write me up because he was a Mason himself. So he respected my level of secrecy. You heard? He respected that. Before I let that nigga get my secret lessons, I would go to the box. He respected that because that's what Masons is about. Secrecy. Know what I mean? People who know how to keep their fucking mouth shut. Like my nigga $500,000 said, quiet money, keep our mouth shut like Freemasons. So he respected that. And then he respected that I wouldn't tell him what it was. Like, what is it you ripped up? He knew what it was. It's like, I ain't telling you nothing. Take me to the box. Know what I mean? He respected that shit. That nigga let me go. I couldn't believe it.
All right. I want to end this, Joan, on just talking. I like how you touched on some music subjects the last week or two. So if people don't know, who is the real 50 Cent? Or the original, depending on how you look at it.
I mean, he was a dude from Fort Greene Projects in Brooklyn. And he was before my time. I was a young dude when he was already dead, probably. When he died, I probably was still a young dude, you feel me? But he was a legendary thug, street dude from Fort Greene, and he just was a notorious stick-up kid. And the reason why he was so notorious because he was so short. He was a small dude, you feel me? But he had a big gun. So it's like he was running down on a lot of people, sticking up a lot of people. So a lot of people feared him because he was a robber.
How you say earlier, civilians, right? Like he wasn't just hitting civilians either. He was running up on people who was getting that paper.
Basically, yeah. You know what I mean? So he was an animal on that type of tip. So, he was wilding in the streets so much with his gun, his name just rings off forever. In New York.
And then, you got a series about somebody who is nameless thus far, who I guess murder, who was locked up with Lil Durk's father. And what I really liked about that it wasn't no, let's get some clickbait and say some ratchet shit that like I like how he talked about how he is destined to be a leader and how he helped him change it. Even though he did tell one story, it ends with him discussing how he changed his life and everything. Did you edit it that way? Was that how my man told it? Is there more Big Durk stories coming?
What you mean, edit it on that Big Durk changed his life, or that my man changed his life?
Well, I like the way you did part 1, 2, and 3. It had a narrative. Like on part 1, homeboy kind of introduced him and told how he became Iman and Yusuf. He was always destined to be a leader. Starts off with the story that people need to go listen to it and check it out. It's a very interesting story. Then after the story,
you know, Murder says, you know, we got straight, and Yusuf, I was his right hand man for years, and he was instrumental in helping me change my life, and that I kind of took it that him changing his life is what led to him getting released. I could have been me reading more into it, but I like how it was somewhat redemptive, you know what I mean, but not forced, because it was the truth.
Yeah, you know, let me tell you something about my man Murder that told that story. Like that's the dude. That's one of my closest friends. You feel what I'm saying? Like me and Son was up north together. We was in the same jail, and we was Ace Boom Coons. You heard? And it's like we used to have a team called the Thug Busters. You heard? Me and him. We was called the Thug Busters. And what we did was we was peaceful dudes that mind our business. We don't start no trouble with nobody. But whenever a dude came into jail on some extra tough shit, we would go have a conversation with him. Like, yo, bro, listen, this jail is laid back. We laying back. My man right here, we used to be on our good cop, bad cop shit. I'd be like, my man right here is a murderer, and he's chilling. You understand what I'm saying? So chill the fuck out, my bro. With all of that extra tough shit, this is not the jail for that, unless you wanted to quickly become the type of jail for that. And niggas used to calm the fuck down. But my man, he's a type of nigga, he gonna put in that work, he gonna put that dub in, but he never looking for problems. And the type of stuff that he puts in work for is usually over somebody else. It's usually over somebody needing his assistance. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what he was speaking about with that. Like, you know what I mean? But Son is a good dude, man. That's my man. He's a good guy. You feel what I'm saying? But in jail, when you in prison, Son had 30 years. He came home when Trump signed that shit he signed, and motherfuckers got their sentence reduced because he had 30 years for a nonviolent crime, which was ridiculous.
Hell yeah.
He had 30 joints for a nonviolent crime. So when he got that time cut, 17 years, he was released. So he had like 16 pushing 17 years released out the feds. So Son the type of nigga, he in the feds, he gonna chill. But if you got all of that time, you got 30 years doing the feds, like niggas don't really, nobody really cares about being cool. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna be cool when they got 30 years to do.
Yeah, they want easy.
You know what I mean? Like niggas like, what, nigga, whatever. Nigga get stabbed, cut, whatever. You got 30 years, you don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So luckily Son came home, but that's my bro. I got crazy stories coming, crazy next level shit.
All right, and then, you know, we're gonna end it with, I got a couple personal musical questions. Did you ever run into like my son, Shaheem? And I heard you was talking about somebody from was it the Juice Crew?
Nah, I never ran into really none of them big celebrity type of rappers in the can. But I was locked up with JDL from Cold Crush Brothers.
Cold Crush Brothers, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Son is like one of them. Son is like a super legend in New York, old school hip hop. You feel what I'm saying?
Is he home?
I'm not sure where Son is at today. But JDL had, at that time, JDL was a grown ass man. I was like 18 and 19, and JDL was probably well in his 40s at that time. So this was 25, 30 years ago. So, you know what I mean? I don't know where Son is at today, but that's my bro. I saw a picture of him not too long ago, but that's my bro, the nigga JDL. You feel me? We was in the same camp together in Camp Gabriel, and I wasn't really locked up with too many other dudes that was like celebrities and stuff like that, but I was hearing about dudes when I was in jail, being in certain jails close to me and stuff like that.
So you ain't never run into that man, Cormega?
Nah, I never ran into Cormega.
I'm not gonna ask you to verify this because, you know, I you know, but you know, there was an XXL one time. It was ironic. It had an article about 50 Cent in it. I believe it had Jay-Z on the cover. But it had a one-page article about Cormega, and he said that he was the prison boxing champ in New York State in a certain period, and he also said that there was no weight class. And I'm not trying to call Cormega a liar or nothing, but I was just curious. Did you ever see boxing that didn't have weight class?
I think boxing in jail is only in the maxes. So I'm not sure, man. I don't really know anything about the boxing realm in prison, but I think a couple of maximum security penitentiaries got a boxing program. You heard? But I'm not familiar with it at all, man. I never ran into anybody that was in a boxing program.
Because that just sounds incredibly savage, you know what I mean? Like you could have like 120-pound motherfucker fighting like a man. I'm sure you seen cats did y'all have weights in the yard when you were there?
Definitely.
So you must have seen some cats that was like 6'4", 340 with like point nothing body fat.
I've told a couple of stories about things I was locked up with, but
I mean, can you imagine one of them boxing some 120-pound person? Man, that should be insane.
I mean, if a motherfucker was that brave when he was 120 pounds and you get up in the ring with that nigga, then you know what you're getting yourself into, nigga. When you get killed, you know what it is. But I've seen some small motherfuckers whoop some big motherfuckers out. You heard? In regular street fighting, like in regular jail fighting and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I've seen some short motherfuckers. I seen a motherfucker, big, crazy motherfucker. This dude was like 6'5", 350. He was a fat dude. Like, he wasn't fat, but he was a big dude, but he used to be hitting crazy weights and all of that. Dude threw a can of beans in a sock, just hit him upside his head, or a pillowcase or a sock, just threw a can of like kidney beans. Threw that shit in the sock, just hit him in the back of his head. Blah!
Just hard enough to make him mad. Yeah.
Nah, he dropped.
A word?
Dropped. He went out like a light. You know, that can of kidney beans is heavy, bro. That shit is heavy. You swing that shit and hit somebody in the back of the head with that shit is like getting hit with a fucking, I don't know, something. And that shit hit, he dropped like a ton of bricks, you heard? So it's like, no matter how big you are, all it takes is one little impact to put your ass out.
Yeah, true indeed. It only take that's how it is in real fighting too. It only take one jump. All right, so let's get out of here with this. What we got to look forward to coming up in GenPop?
Oh man, I'm about to finish telling the stories of the three Shahs. I'm about to go into the story on how I got knowledge of self and started not being a dummy. You heard? And I'm about to go into a whole bunch of other stuff, man. I'm probably going out tonight to go film another episode of The Fat Vegetarian. You know what I mean? Real talk. I want to go back to that burger spot, but I'm gonna chill out.
Yeah, that Impossible Burger look good as shit.
Yo,
that shit look way better than that bullshit they have on the Burger King commercial. Cause you know whatever's on the Burger King commercial don't be how the one in the store look.
I be fucking with the Burger King joint. It's decent, but that shit right there, that shit, I ain't taste a burger like that in a very long time, bro. As a vegetarian, I'm gonna tell you.
You know, that shit look fantastic. Well, shit, bro. But we'll see everybody for the next GenPop recap podcast. And thank you for your time, lads.
You already know, my bro. Hit me up whenever. You heard?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, my genie.
All right, man.
The Superfacts Network, home of GenPop, SDE, and the Superfacts Show. Now available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from. Come check out St. Laz, G from the Shop, and Mark Walter Ward.